Pure EVil MMA. I'm your host, like always, Evil Eddie. After a crazy night of UFC down in Brazil, and of course Shogun Rua going in there getting that win, looking like the old Shogun Rua, throwing back to high school. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm Evil Eddie from FrontProofMedia.com, host of Pure EVil MMA. Make sure you guys subscribe down below here on YouTube. Also, if you're listening to the podcast on iTunes or Podbean, we do this every week after every event, and then of course we have our weekly show on iTunes where I cover the weekly news. Well, I gotta give you guys a recap of tonight. It was free, and when it's free, it's always a good one no matter what the outcome is. Let's start from the very top. I'm sure that's where you guys really want to focus in here. Vitor Belfort going there, and let's not discredit him too much. He did look good at the weigh-ins. He looked good at the open workouts. Happy. Then going into this fight tonight, he was finding success here and there. I mean, in the very first round, I mean, there was only one round. Kelvin Gastelum looked really nice and calm going in there, not getting too overwhelmed going in there against Vitor Belfort, and it was really just picking his shots. He dropped Vitor twice in the first couple of minutes there, and Vitor, after the first time, thought it was going to be all over. He was able to recover, get back to his feet. The crowd went absolutely nuts, and it was kind of sad to see Vitor get the loss in there tonight. I knew in my heart that Kelvin Gastelum was going to win this. Well, not in my heart. In my heart, I wanted Vitor to win this, of course. Kelvin Gastelum going in there, and that's who I picked. I hope you guys are listening in on that. At the end of the fight, Vitor was saying, no result that we want, not the result that we wanted, but we're here. And he's really pushing for the UFC to schedule him down in his hometown of Rio. That's where he wants to have his last fight. Guys, it was 90 degrees there tonight. Imagine going out there and performing in that kind of weather, especially if you're not used to it. Here in the East Coast, it fluctuates from extremely cold to extremely hot. So throughout the year, we're all over the place. When it's 90 degrees out and you're in there and you're throwing punches, it's got to be 10 times harder for you if you're not used to it. Where does Kelvin Gastelum go now, though? What's going on, Ann? Of course, we got the open chat room here open tonight, and I welcome everybody to come join us here at Pure EVil MMA. Ann is going to be joining us. Looks like our third co-host, or our second co-host of the night. And I love when you guys come and show your support here. We do this, like I said, after every UFC event, so make sure you subscribe on our YouTube page, guys, if you want to come and join the fun. And if you have any questions or want to relay, fight by fight as we go through them, make sure to be my guest here. So the question is, where does Kelvin Gastelum go now? Does he take the winner of Gegard Mousasi and Chris Weidman, which I'm totally nervous about? I'm a huge Weidman fan, coming here from New York, and Gegard Mousasi either sometimes he shows up, sometimes he doesn't, but he's been really connecting the dots lately. Or does Kelvin Gastelum get somebody like Luke Rockhold, which really hasn't been making much of an appearance since last year? I don't know where Luke Rockhold is. I know that he's going through his relationship or whatever with Demi Lovato, lucky guy, and not really much to be told from him. He was supposed to go in there and get that fight. I think it was against Jacare for the rematch, and then he re-injured himself, Luke Rockhold, having to pull out of that fight. So what does Kelvin Gastelum do now? I think he was ranked 10th, maybe 9th. So Vitor Belfort was ranked also 9th or 10th. So they're kind of flip-flopping here. Anderson Silva also not too far away there in the rankings. We don't really know what's going to be going on with Anderson Silva anytime soon, I don't think either. So will you go up and match him against him? I don't know. Yeah, I would like to see how Kelvin will match up against some of the guys in this weight division. This is not the division that he thought he would be fighting in. He has moved up after having some weight issues, in case some people out there didn't know that. Mike is now in the chat room as well, and he also did amazing tonight. Guys, I'm going to be giving our UFC Pick'em winners a shout out tonight, and it might be you, and it might be Ann, it might be Mike, it might be Yusuf, and I can't wait for Yusuf to see that Shogun finish tonight. Shout out to General Yusuf. And in the chat room saying, me and Mike got first and second place tonight. Isn't that a first? That happened. And Mike saying, hi, Eddie. Whoa, wow. Was that for Team MMA for Life, or was that for the Pure EVil MMA league there on UFC Pick'em? And a huge shout out to Ann for also pointing out that UFC Pick'em really needs to fix that 0-point draw thing. Tonight we saw the draw between the female fighters, Betch Correia versus Marion Renault. We're going to get into that in just a second, but UFC Pick'em doesn't give you any points, so that definitely stubs your toe there with that one, especially if if you did not think it was going to be a draw. And that one I didn't think was going to be a draw. The judges did score that fight, and we're going to jump into it. A 10-8 in that third round. So we're going to go and back up on that one. But what do you guys think Kelvin Gastelum should do? Let us know on Twitter at Pure EVil MMA or on our personal page. Here, I'll pull it up for all my videocast viewers here. At evil_echo. That's EVIL_ECCO. Give us a follow at frontproofmedia.com as well if you guys want to catch up on all the latest interviews that I got going on. And subscribe on our iTunes and Podbean page for our weekly podcast. All right, so let's jump right back into it. Shogun Rua going in there and putting on a show for the Brazilian crowds, and they were on their feet when he made his walkout tonight. So he stunned Volante in a couple of times in that fight. He was being very patient in there, and Volante's coaches were just screaming at him from the corner and in the chat room. I hate draws. I hate them too. I get so frustrated. I don't really want to see them run that one back. And there was also a rematch tonight that we're going to be talking about, which had opposite results than their first time around. Shogun Rua going in there and just pretty much stunning Volante. Volante was just shook, didn't really know what to do in there. Shogun going to his roots there, and I was a huge fan of Shogun growing up back in the high school days. And then, of course, John Bones Jones going in there and just derailing the Shogun train. Losing my notes here. But it is no surprise that Shogun definitely showed up tonight for the crowd. Volante, if he did get the win, it was going to be the biggest win on his career. I was leaning towards Shogun in a decision, but wow, I'll take the finish. No head movement on Volante. That's all we heard from the corner of Volante. And unfortunately, he was just like standing there like a still target, but he did clip Shogun once or twice. We will give him that credit. I get so excited when Shogun gets the win there. And he was getting emotional as well in the post-fight speech, and he just gave Brian Sand that nod, that mutual respect there, because he knew exactly what he was going through. And one thing that Brian Sand pointed out, and shout out to him because I thought he did a great job tonight with the commentating alongside John Anik. He was saying that Shogun Rua was, showing his veteran roots by not jumping in there and trying to finish Volante when he was injured, because he did clip him a couple of times. So, pat on the back to Shogun Rua. I don't know what they're going to do with the guy. Could he make another title run? I don't think. With the mileage that he's got, I mean, fight after fight, I think all of his fans and all the people that really respect him are at the edge of their seat just really hoping that he can tough it out till the end. Not really expecting a knockout or a finish, but they know that he's a veteran enough to kind of play a little slower, be more patient, pick his strikes, and, scratch out a 3-round decision. Well, here we go with a finish, so that's exciting. We're going to be talking about that this week on Pure EVil MMA, so make sure you check it out on Podbean and iTunes. Let's hit the chat room here. You are making me feel really old, Eddie, by saying you saw Shogun in high school. Well, even before I was in high school, Shogun was doing it. Even for Vitor Belfort, I mean, Kelvin Gastelum said he was 4 or 5 years old when Vitor made his debut, and Kelvin's actually 2 years younger than I am. So, in the age of MMA, I mean, it's really not that old. I mean, we can say it's as old as football, but it's really not. I mean, 1993 is when the UFC made its debut there, and with UFC 1. So I was alive when all that was going on. So that I'm growing up with it as well. So I think you shouldn't feel old, and this is our generation of MMA. That's I was right on the page. Even though I was in high school, I was still watching. So I think we're on the same wavelength there. This is our generation. This is our time in MMA. And I tell you all, even all of you guys, if it's your first time tuning in, right now, when I was growing up, it was Mickey Mantle that I was getting bedtime stories to by my grandfather. It was Roger Maris in the year 1961. It was Michael Jordan in my uncle's generation. It was Mike Tyson in my uncle and father's generation. Muhammad Ali in my grandfather's. You know what I'm saying here? Well, for me and my children and my grandchildren, it's going to be me telling them stories about Conor McGregor, Ronda Rousey, Shogun Rua, Vitor Belfort, the story of Kelvin Gastelum that we're watching him make his rise. I mean, we are seeing the time of time in MMA right now, and I'm so happy that I have a loyal group of followers here that also share the same support and love for the sport. And before we go any further, I don't want to talk about myself too much here, but this sport really does get me to the edge of my seat, make me feel alive. The passion flows, and I just love it. And to share that with all of you guys, I just got to thank you for joining me here on this post-fight show, and I love that you guys are joining in the chat room. But don't feel old, Ann. All right, so Shogun Rua getting the win there. Kelvin Gastelum. All right, so Trinaldo versus Dariush. What was going on there? Trinaldo getting the... Trinaldo. Whoa. Why did I write Trinaldo? Barboza. Excuse me. I hope you guys don't jump off my ship off that one. Barboza getting the highlight reel finish there with a flying knee. Absolutely crazy because this fight was going back and forth both ways. Dariush was doing a great job in the beginning of that fight, trying to get inside the pocket and kind of, stuff Trinaldo. And Trinaldo just trying to stay on the outside, trying to play his game, of course. Well, what happens? Dariush starts looking for that takedown and gets hit with that flying knee. Another highlight reel finish for Barboza there. He's just been absolutely killing it. And Dariush, man, I had Dariush winning tonight. I don't know about you guys, but I thought that he was going to be able to just kind of smother Trinaldo or Barboza in that fight. All right, so now for Mega versus Ray Borg. A lot of you guys didn't agree with what I had or the judges, but I scored this fight, first round. I had it for Formiga. I thought he did good in that first round. It touched the body lock in later in that fight, but wasn't enough to do it in that third round for me. Ray Borg winning the second and third, was doing great with the combos, the knees. He was being very explosive, and I thought he did exactly what he needed to do to get that win, but a lot of people weren't agreeing with that. Now we can get into that draw, and this is where we're going to have to message UFC Pick'em, because I don't think we should get robbed for points on that one, right? So, all right, Betch Kohea versus Marion Renault, in case you guys were not tuning in. Third round was a 10-8 on my card and also on the judges' scorecards. I think that was fair. I think that was definitely fair there. I had Betch Kohea losing the first. I had Renault winning the first. I had Betch winning the second. She started putting it together. We usually see Betch kind of slow in that first round. What do we got in the chat room? We love you, Hetty. Love your passion for MMA. Thank you so much. But let's get into this. Betch Kohea getting the draw. I thought that maybe she done enough to win that fight. I had it scored 29-27. The judges had it 29-27 and then 28-28 and 28-28, making that a draw. But the second wind really started coming for Marion Renault. She was having some great movements and was able to really just stuff Betch Kohea in that third round. Betch thought she did enough to win that fight. You saw her dancing at the end, throwing it up for the Brazilian crowds, and they were loving it. Unfortunately, it goes to a draw, and that's just the way of the game here. That's what happens when you leave it to the judges. That's just what happens there. But Betch Kohea, she was undefeated coming into the UFC. We remember late 2015 going in there. She had a chance of taking out Ronda Rousey, but she got stuffed in that very first round. After that, really not being able to put it together, getting smoked out by Raquel Pennington, who had an amazing 2016, in my opinion. My top 15 list for pound fighters of 2016. And I'm looking forward to see what she can do here. But then Betch Kohea started putting it together in the last fight against Jessica Evil Eye. That was another very close fight as well. But Betch Kohea in Brazil, you think she has a little advantage there, especially with the judging. Not tonight. So draw going into that one. Shout out to Marion Renault. She had a great performance as well tonight. School teacher. Imagine watching your school teacher on a UFC fight. I think that would just be crazy. All right, so then we had the rematch. Cowboy Oliveira, the Brazilian Cowboy, going against the Dirty Bird, Tim Means. First round, 10-9 Cowboy, and then the rear naked choke happened in the second round. 5 takedowns in the first round for Cowboy, though. Very impressive and apologetic at the end of that fight. They need to have sudden death rounds. And this is something that people brought up, something that Mike actually brought up to me during the fight, engaging with us. Shout out to the Pure EVil Army who all engaged with us tonight as well. But Mike was saying, you know what? They should do what they do in tough. After the second round, if it's a tie, you go into that third round, and it kind of changes the way of the fight. Because now if there's 3 rounds but a potential fourth, you're changing the layout of that entire first round, because now you don't know if you're just going to go 3 or 4 rounds. You might play it a little slower. A lot changes in the way of the dynamic of the fight if you're adding in that fourth round there. So in a case like that, I think Betch would have got stomped out in that fourth round. She just had nothing left in her. Marion Renault being able to get that second win was huge for her in that third round. That's what really sealed that fight, that 10-8. And let's not forget the new rules were in effect tonight. I love seeing the new rules. Some people were saying rounds were 10-10, and I'm like, no. But then there's new rules. So I think they'd favor more 10-8s than 10-10s. We haven't really seen any 10-10s, have we? Let me know at Pure EVil MMA on Twitter if you are watching this not live. All right, so Cowboy gets the win, rear naked choke in the second round. Trinaldo getting the loss to Lee. Could you guys even believe it? Heavy in round one, Trinaldo going in there. And Lee was able to do what many have failed to do. Trinaldo had, an 8-fight win streak so far? And then in that second round, he just arched Trinaldo and gets the win. Then he calls out Khabib Nurmagomedov. Don't think it's going to happen, but it's definitely worth a shot, right? Shout out to Minion who actually said those exact words. It was worth a shot. Why not? And we can't yell at fighters for saying it, even though they don't really have a chance. Kudos for them for making the shout out, because that's what the UFC looks for. You don't know what's going to happen in the future, and you can look back at that. Look what happened to Nate Diaz in the Conor McGregor fight. When that happened after the Michael Johnson-Nate Diaz fight, Nate was able to put together and kind of showcase his striking skills there, his boxing, what he's been putting together. He calls out Conor McGregor. He was like one of 4 people that night to call him out. And then he gets the fight. Who would have known after RDA gets injured? So it's worth the shot there. Go for it, guys. If there's anything you're going to say, call your shots. It worked. It doesn't work all the time, but we see at least 70% of the time now that it does work. So shout out for Lee for that. I think he was the underdog going into this as well. But Trinaldo, man, I was totally shocked that he ended up losing this fight. He had a great run here, and I don't think this really takes anything away from Trinaldo, moving forward. I don't think he loses any points in anyone's books. Ann's agreeing here. Yep, sudden death, just like on Tough. You're right, Mike. I totally agree. What they do on Tough is a must because there are only 2 rounds, and it changes a lot because you got to stay fresh. And we see in that Ultimate Fighter season that you got to really go out in that first round, and it really leaves pavement towards the judging if you have a successful first round. And then you go into the second round, that's all you got. If you don't lay it all out there in that second round, it's over. And then you got 1 round to 1 round. It's like, all right, sudden death. Lay it all out there. So what would happen if we had a 4th round? I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but we can talk about it and kind of joke about it here. All right, so Ramos Morales, 30-27 on the judges' scorecard. Heavy body shots by Ramos getting the win there. 2-1 favorite. Then we had Yaha versus Soto. Soto getting the win. Very different style for Yaha going there. Gassed at the end of that second round. His corner really had to help him up, kind of carry him back there. And Soto was just pouring out blood like a kitchen sink and was kind of taunting Yaha from his corner, going, Yaha, Ronnie. It was pretty funny. And then Berkman, there were a lot of rumors tonight that Josh Berkman retired. Brian Sand blasting that out because Berkman left his gloves in the octagon after that fight. But that is actually false. We're going to shut that down right now. Berkman actually responded saying, no. That's not what I was doing tonight. I actually do have another fight on my contract. I should fight pro. That's so funny that you say that. Maybe I will. There's Andrew Calangelli's gym right down the road from me here in New Haven. He has a serious gym down there. A lot of great fighters, especially one female fighter. We'll try to get her on for you. But you know what? I was thinking about it. Maybe I should start fighting. You never know. Because I was always an athlete growing up. I'm not going to toot my own horn or anything. Was captain of the football team. Who knows? I do walk around at 205 right now. So I am 6 foot, 205 pounds. I don't know what weight class I would fight at. But, it's something I could definitely go for there. Shout out Mike for that one. But we're shutting down all of the rumors. Josh Berkman is not retiring, but Prazara is getting the first round submission win in there. It was a very fun night. What do we rate it though? What are you guys rating tonight? It was a free card. I give it 4. No. I can't give it 4 stars. It does add a little extra butter to it, knowing it was a free fight and we didn't have to pay for it. But at the end of the day, I'm giving it 3.5 stars, and I think that's a fair one. With the amount of finishes, with the amount of the underdogs taken into place, the draw, the main event. I mean, it was down in Brazil, so that adds a little more salt to the cracker of it all. Shogun Hua getting the win. Of course, that adds a little more flavor in. Trinaldo with the loss. Barboza with the finish. Maybe 4. Maybe it does deserve 4. Let's see what we got in the UFC Pick'em League. If you guys want to engage with us next week for our fight night, and we're going to blast out the upcoming fights here. Let's see what we got in our UFC Pick'em. But if you guys want to engage with us, just use hashtag Pure EVil MMA. And if you are listening to the podcast, guys, we do our live shows after every main event for UFC. All right, so let's see what we got here. I didn't do too well tonight. I got the main event right, 275 points. I got the co-main right. I got the Barboza fight wrong. I got the Formiga fight wrong. The Betch Correia fight was at a draw. I got 0 points for that one, which is totally a bummer because it's not like you got it wrong. We got to say something to them, guys. I got the Oliveira fight right. Trinaldo wrong. I mean, who would have thought? I got Moraes right. Yaha wrong. Berkman wrong. I got Kennedy right. And I got Boturana beating McClellan. What a night. All right, so let's see who we got for our winners here in our UFC Pick'em League for the Pure Evil Crystal Skull. All right, so we're going to go to per event, and then we're going to do the overall standings here. You guys are rating it 3.5. I think that's a pretty fair rating out there. Free Fights is what was a good card. I give it 1, 2, 3, 4 stars. And gives it 4 stars. I think we got to lean about 3 3/4. I think we're going to fall between you guys right there. 3 3/4, possible 4. You know, among review, 4 stars. We're going to give it 4 stars, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the 4 stars. 3.5 off the rip, 4 stars after review. All right, so Ann, holy shit. Ann, you came in first tonight with 2,580 points. Mike, you came in second. Wow, with 2,405 points. In third place, we had Wicked Ways 1972. In fourth, Pat. Pat's back. First round knockouts all throughout that kid's cards, guys, in case you guys don't know who Pat is. Shout out to Pat. In fifth place, we have Nick, NREMTB, who always does great on the cards. Shout out to Nick, who's been helping us out with some interviews here. We have interviews released tomorrow. We're going to be interviewing Bam Bojet as well on this next episode of Pure Evil MMA. I'm going to shout that out in a second here. In sixth place, Sammy, Salem 1976. In seventh, Lub MMA, who won last week's event. In eighth, Mean Gene for Mean Gene's Fight Scene. And also tied for eighth, Yusuf, who I seriously can't wait for him to see Shogun's win tonight. Shout out to Shogun getting that stoppage TKO win. In 10th, we got Max. Wow, guys, I landed all the way in 20th place. Really dropping down there. I came in 20th place above the 2 people in the group who didn't even make picks tonight. So that just goes to show you, between last week's event and this week's event, I really have not been doing good. So it really shows you guys you can do all the studying you want. You can look at all the odds you want. You can listen to all the podcasts in the world. You never know what's going to happen. The favorite, the underdog, you never know who's going to win the night. Shout out to Chill Zone. Shout out to Mike Into the Storm. Let's see what we got for our overall top 10. I'm going to start out from the 10th all the way to number 1. All right, so in 10th place. All right, let's see who made the ranks, who rose, and who dropped. All right, so in 10th, we got Yusuf. In 9th, we got Max. In 8th, Genuine Geo. In 7th, Minion, hanging in there. In 6th, Wicked Ways 1972. In 5th, Mean Gene from Mean Gene's Fight Scene. In 4th, and Chillzone 95. In 3rd, Mike Into the Storm. In 2nd, Nick, NREMTB. And in 1st, and somebody who's been in 1st, battling out between 1st and 2nd with Nick, Disturbed MMA, coming out on top with an extra 1,000-point lead here. Really surprised. I'm going to take the screenshot. I'm going to be posting it on our Twitter and Facebook page. Make sure if you are watching this and you haven't played along with us, all you got to do is use hashtag Pure Evil MMA and follow along with us. Engage with us on Fight Night throughout the week leading up to the fights on Twitter, Facebook. You can follow us on Facebook at Pure Evil MMA, on Instagram at Pure Evil MMA. I try to make it as simple as I can for you guys. All in all, though, it was a great night of fights. What's going on, Casey Jones? Ted Check smokes a lot of shitty. I'll make sure I relay that message to Ted Check. That's so funny. I will relay that message to Ted Check, without a doubt. And shout out to Ted. We're going to be reviewing this card every Wednesday night, guys. We do a show with Ted Check, who, if you Google UFC, you're going to see his face plastered all over the place. And we always have a blast every Wednesday night on Ted's page. Make sure you subscribe right here on iTunes, podbean.com. Let me know what you guys thought was our fight of the night here. I mean, Vitor Belfort not having the night we all wanted. Shogun Rua bringing home the win. Cowboy not getting the best of nights, but does come with the comeback win after losing the first fight to an illegal name. I really like Shogun's performance here tonight. Kelvin Gastelum, of course, with the finish. You got to take that in consideration. But what about Edson Barboza? That was the fight of the night, or knockout of the night, in my opinion. There was a crazy night on that main card, and it was free. So that's all I got to say about that. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter at Pure EVil MMA, also frontproofmedia.com. I'm Evil Eddie from Pure EVil MMA, frontproofmedia.com. Behave yourselves.